Roots of a Future Leader. 1961's 1979 Barack Hussein Obama II was born on August 4, 1961, in Honolulu, Hawaii. His mother, Stanley Ann Dunham, was a white woman from Kansas with Midwestern values, and his father, Barack Obama Sr., was a black man from Kenya who had come to the United States to study economics. Their union was remarkable and controversial for its time, occurring during an era when interracial marriage was still illegal in many U.S. states. Barack Sr. left the family when Obama was only 2 years old. Though his contact with his father was brief, a single visit when Obama was 10, the image of a charismatic, brilliant, but flawed man left a deep impression on the young boy. The absence of a stable paternal figure also created emotional gaps that Obama would explore in adulthood, particularly in his autobiographical writing. At age 6, Barack's life shifted dramatically when his mother married Lolo Suetoro, an Indonesian student she met at the University of Hawaii. The family moved to Jakarta, Indonesia, where Obama lived until age 10. There, he witnessed economic disparity firsthand and was exposed to multiple cultures and religions, shaping his global awareness from an early age. Concerned about the quality of education in Indonesia, his mother sent him back to Honolulu, where he lived with his grandparents and attended Punahou School, one of Hawaii's most prestigious private institutions. At Punahou, he was one of the few black students. This experience deepened his awareness of racial identity and occasionally made him feel like an outsider. Despite his internal struggles, Obama was a capable student and a decent athlete. He gravitated toward basketball, which gave him a sense of belonging. During his high school years, he also began experimenting with marijuana and alcohol, choices he would later be honest about in his writings and speeches, using them as teachable moments for others. Finding Purpose, 1979, 1988 after. High school, Obama attended Occidental College in Los Angeles. His first 2 years in college were exploratory. He experimented with ideas, music, and activism. It was during this time that he began to engage more seriously with political philosophy and civil rights issues. Feeling unfulfilled, he transferred to Columbia University in New York City in 1981. There, he studied political science with a focus on international relations. The urban environment of New York and the intellectual rigor of Columbia helped mature his thinking about race, power, and inequality. After graduating in 1983, Obama worked briefly at a business consulting firm before moving into community organizing. He relocated to Chicago in 1985, where he took a job with the Developing Communities Project, a church-based organization on the city's south side. His work centered on helping residents deal with issues such as unemployment, poor housing conditions, and failing schools. These years were formative. Obama got his first hands-on experience in public service, witnessing the daily struggles of working-class families and the systemic barriers they faced. Despite early challenges, skepticism from residents, a lack of resources, Obama gradually earned the trust of the community. He learned how to listen, how to motivate people, and how to bring disparate groups together around a common cause. These were the seeds of the politician he would later become. Harvard and the Making of a Public Figure, 1988-1996. In 1988, Barack Obama decided to attend Harvard Law School. It was a pivotal choice. While at Harvard, he made history by becoming the first black president of the prestigious Harvard Law Review. This achievement brought him national media attention and marked the beginning of his rise on the national stage. Obama was known not just for his intellect, but also for his ability to bridge divides. He impressed peers and professors alike with his thoughtful, measured approach to complex legal and ethical questions. While many students focused exclusively on academics, Obama remained committed to community work, spending summers working for civil rights organizations. After graduating magna cum laude in 1991, he returned to Chicago, rejecting lucrative corporate law offers. Instead, he chose to work in civil rights law and teach constitutional law at the University of Chicago. His commitment to grassroots activism and education reflected a deeper calling: public service. In 1992, Obama married Michelle Robinson, a fellow Harvard Law graduate whom he had met while working at a law firm. Michelle was ambitious, grounded, and deeply committed to social justice. Their partnership would become one of the most admired and scrutinized political marriages in American history. Together, they built a life in Chicago's South Side. They had 2 daughters, Malia, born in 1998, and Sasha, born in 2001. Family became a central pillar of Obama's identity, reinforcing his image as a devoted husband and father. Rising political star 1996-2004. In 1996, Obama entered politics, winning a seat in the Illinois State Senate. He quickly earned a reputation as a pragmatic progressive, someone who could work across the aisle without compromising core values. He pushed for ethics reform, tax credits for low-income families, and increased access to health care. Obama's time in the state Senate wasn't without frustration. He encountered political gridlock and learned firsthand how slow the wheels of government could turn. But it was also a time of growth and refinement. He developed the calm, deliberative style that would later define his presidency. In 2000, he made a bold but unsuccessful attempt to unseat U.S. Representative Bobby Rush in a Democratic primary. The loss was humbling but instructive. Obama reevaluated his approach and focused on expanding his base, building relationships, and deepening his understanding of national politics. Everything changed in 2004. Obama ran for the U.S. Senate seat in Illinois and won the Democratic primary in a landslide. But it was his keynote address at the 2004 Democratic National Convention that catapulted him to national prominence. In a speech filled with poetic language and inclusive themes, he declared, "There's not a liberal America and a conservative America, there's the United States of America." The speech electrified the nation and turned Obama into a rising star overnight. He went on to win the general election by a wide margin, becoming only the 3rd African American since Reconstruction to be elected to the U.S. Senate. The road to the White House 2005 to 2008 in the U.S. Senate, Obama continued to build his national profile. He focused on ethics reform, nuclear nonproliferation, and veterans affairs. His approach, balancing progressive ideals with bipartisan cooperation, won praise from colleagues across the aisle. In February 2007, Obama made a historic announcement. He was running for President of the United States. The idea seemed audacious to some. He was young, relatively inexperienced on the national stage, and running against formidable opponents, including the heavily favored Hillary Clinton. Yet Obama's campaign struck a chord with millions. His message of hope and change inspired a diverse coalition of voters, young people, African Americans, independents, and disaffected Republicans. With an unprecedented grassroots movement and expert use of digital organizing, Obama secured the Democratic nomination. In the general election, he faced Republican Senator John McCain. Amid a collapsing economy and dissatisfaction with the Bush administration, Obama's calm demeanor and message of renewal resonated. On November 4, 2008, Barack Obama was elected the 44th President of the United States, defeating McCain by a wide margin in both the electoral and popular vote. Tears streamed down the faces of supporters gathered in Chicago's Grant Park that night. For many, Obama's victory was more than a political win. It was a vindication of America's promise. As he said in his victory speech, "If there is anyone out there who still doubts that America is a place where all things are possible, tonight is your answer." Historic presidency. 2009-2017. Barack Obama was sworn in on January 20, 2009, as the first African American president in U.S. history. He inherited a nation in crisis, 2 wars, a financial collapse, and deep partisan divides. In his first year, he signed the $787 billion American Recovery and Reinvestment Act to stabilize the economy. His administration bailed out the auto industry, a move that saved over 1 million jobs. Within 2 years, the economy began to rebound, although recovery was slow and uneven. The centerpiece of his first term was the Affordable Care Act, commonly known as Obamacare. Passed in 2010, the ACA expanded health insurance to over 20 million Americans and prohibited insurers from denying coverage due to pre-existing conditions. It was a landmark achievement, but also sparked fierce political backlash that would shape future elections. Obama also focused on foreign policy. He wound down the war in Iraq, increased troop levels in Afghanistan temporarily, and authorized the mission that killed Osama bin Laden in 2011. His approach to diplomacy earned him the Nobel Peace Prize in 2009, though critics argued it was premature. In 2012, Obama was re-elected, defeating Republican Mitt Romney. His second term saw major advancements in civil rights, including his public support for same-sex marriage and the Supreme Court's decision to legalize it nationwide in 2015. He also worked to address climate change, forging the Paris Agreement, with 195 countries to limit global warming. Despite gridlock in Congress, Obama used executive action to protect undocumented immigrants who arrived as children and to push for gun control measures. Throughout his presidency, Obama faced relentless opposition,